Progress is never in a linear line. Progress is always in a curved line. Therefore, while we are performing good habits, while we are putting the 100% efforts we have into that good habit, in initial phases we aren't able to see the efforts, and that's why we're disappointed from it and we quit that. But actual progress of a good habit is known to us when we are at the end, and it starts from the middle. What I'm trying to say is that bad habits gives us intense gratification. For example, scrolling Instagram or watching a Netflix series directly gives you some progress that you completed one series or not. But while you're performing a good habit, for example performing an exercise, and you want to make six-pack abs, and you start today, and after completing the 2 hours exercise session, you're not going to see any progress, and that's what disappoints us. And then on the second day we doesn't have any motivation to work on it. That's why James Clear wrote this book Atomic Habits, in which he gave us 4 principles that if we follow it, we are really going to form good habits and also break the bad ones. So here is the example from the James Clear book. If a plane from New York is taking off and which has to reach Los Angeles, just a 3 degree turn while taking off could land that plane into another city. So if this example shows us that in the initial days we think that okay, this progress isn't even matters, but actually this 3 degree movement made that plane land in another city. That way this 1 or 2% gain will also end up and compound in the future. So good habits always compound. It's like the interest. I'm Arshit Patel, and in today's video I'm going to tell you the summary of Atomic Habits, some core principle which this book teaches us. This video is sponsored by Notionverse, and they also have a big free surprise for you which will also help you to move forwards to your goals and create powerful systems. So stay till the end. In the initial pages, James Clear is trying to make us understand that you don't have to be goal oriented, you have to be system based. For example, both the teams are playing the football match for winning, so ultimately the goal is same, but only one team is going to win, and the team would be that who regularly practiced and whatsoever stuff. So you don't have to be goal oriented, instead you have to create systems, aka habits that last and which pays you off. And another good example is that if I want to buy an iPhone, I have to give them money and then I'll get the product. Goal is a product, and the habits or the system are the money which we have to sacrifice in order to get that goal. So there are 4 core principles mentioned in the book, and we are going to take a look. The first principle is make it obvious. Yes, you heard it right. We have to make a goal obvious. And what do I mean by obvious is that we need to set up triggers that triggers us and make us remind that we need to do this habit. For example, the author gave this formula. So you have to tell yourself that I will in bracket behavior at in bracket time in this in bracket location. For example, if my goal is to read books, then it should be this: I will read 10 pages at 10 p.m. in my study table. So this way you have to do that. In here the trigger is the time and the place. So when it's 10 and when it's 10 you have to go and sit on the study table. That would trigger you, and then you'll start reading the book. If this didn't work, you can try the second formula, which is after in bracket current habit I'll perform in bracket new habit. For example, after brushing my teeth at night, I'll read 10 pages. So in this method you are sticking the new habit to an existing habit. So while the time you're brushing, you're going to remember that okay, I need to read that book, and that would trigger you, that will remind you, and that would give you a bit of momentum. So now the second core principle is make it attractive. How to make it attractive? So all this kind of distraction what you have, this everything works on the neurotransmitter called dopamine. It is like when you scroll Instagram, when you watch Netflix, when you watch porn, there is a certain type of neurotransmitter called dopamine is released on your brain. The more the dopamine release, the more likely you're going to get addicted to that. Example, like while you're scrolling Instagram, you feel good, but when you're doing exercise, you don't feel good. And that's what thing brain like dopamine from whatever source. The brain is going to get dopamine, the brain is running behind it. And because a brain doesn't know that is a thing bad for us, the thing what does our brain see is only from where I'm going to get a lot of dopamine. Therefore it is now our duty and interest that we need to make the habit interesting and at the same time attractive too. Now how you could do this? You could do that by setting up a right reward and setting up a right punishment. For example, if you're doing exercise and as you complete the 1 hour of exercise, you can reward yourself something. You could also tick on the calendar, because the ticking also makes us feeling satisfied. And if this doesn't works, the second thing will really works. And this principle is like I like that principle so much. If you aren't able to stick to good habits for long, then what you can do is that for suppose you're watching Netflix 1 hour, so while the time you're watching Netflix, you also need to do exercise. So at one side you're getting dopamine from watching Netflix, and at the other side your habit is also running side by side. Now to track your habits and to make habits which makes goals and to track each and every day's process, Notionverse has something for you. Let's check that.
So this is a template which is going to be super useful for you guys. As you can see here, you have some goal section and here you have habits related to it. For example, if I want to get a six-pack abs, so here is my daily habit, here is my weekly habit, and here is my monthly habit. And you can even see your progress bar right over here. And when you click on any goal, and here you can see the particular goal details, and then you have to write the more details on it. Now why is it necessary? It is necessary so that you could feel that your goal is realistic and not just a goal. You also have top 5 reason for failing, so the next time you don't do the same mistake because of which you failed. You also get a day-to-day tracker in which you can track your each and every day and your habits here.
Back to the video. As we move forward to the third core principle, it is make it easy. Many of people start their goals way too big. For example, like losing 10 kgs in a month and getting six-pack abs in 2 months, and really reading a whole book in like 3 or 4 days. These goals are extremely hard and they require a lot of efforts. If you have to put more efforts, then the habit will take a little bit long to form, and if the efforts are less, then the habit will form easily. So the main point of this principle is that you need to start easy. If you want to make a six-pack abs, don't just write the goal that work out each and every freaking day 3 hours. No, that's not the right approach. You just have to make a habit that you need to work out every day. It's 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes, doesn't matter. What matter is that you need to make the chain of exercising each and every day. Then as the time passes, you can increase the strictness and the difficulty of the habit. Many of you would be familiar to the 2-minute rule. So if you use 2-minute rule here, it would totally work super fine. You need to make the 2-minute version of your habit or the goal. So for example, if your goal is to do 30 minutes exercise, then the 2-minute version of it would be just coming, just wearing your gym suit and stretching a little bit. Why the 2 minute rule is important? Because the 2 minute, when you are like on your gym clothes and you're stretching, then it builds a momentum, and then you feel that okay, let's do some exercise. When you do want to exercise, the momentum build, and then you don't know when do you past 20 or 30 minutes of exercise. This 2 minute rule is really extremely helpful. I suggest you to at least try it once. The fourth and the last and the most important core principle is that make it satisfying. If the task isn't pleasurable, if the task isn't satisfying your brain is not going to repeat it. Because why it would repeat? The brain knows that this is completely nonsense and I have to do so much of struggle, and in return I'm not getting nothing. It's like you're working so hard and you made a card and you gave them to your parents, and your parents are like, okay, cool, they didn't appreciate you, so the next time you're not going to make that card because you know that they won't appreciate. Why should I do that? That's where the brain works. But instead, if you reward something, if you make that experience satisfying, pleasurable, your brain is really gonna do it next time. The brain is you don't even have to think of it. The brain will automatically do it for you, and that's what happens at the time of Instagram and YouTube. Your brain gets instantly satisfied from the video or the post you see, and that's why he wants to see more, because without putting any effort you're getting pleasure. So why wouldn't the brain do that? So that's why if you're doing exercise, then make sure you have a perfect reward, and if you aren't doing, you have to do the punishment, because giving the reward is good, but also giving the punishment will make your brain understand that I have to show up it anyway, because if I don't do that I'm gonna get punishment, so why not complete it and get a reward. Now I'm going to tell you how I'm using this book principle in my own life, so you get little bit more clarity on it. I was lazy as fuck. I was so fat, and I didn't want to do exercise anyhow. But then I read this book, and I come up with a plan. The plan was that I'll exercise in the afternoons, and after I finish my 30 minutes or 1 hour exercise session, then only I'm allowed to check my WhatsApp, Instagram chat, Snapchat, and each and everything. And if I don't complete an exercise, then that day I am not allowed to check my Instagram DMs, WhatsApp, Snapchat, and basically each and every kind of social media. My brain was rewired that I need to do this exercise so that I could take some kind of dopamine from Instagram and WhatsApp. While if I don't do, I'm getting nothing. So let's do it. The second thing, I was like, okay, on the day one I read 20 to 30 pages, and then on day 7 I used to actually reopen that book. So my situation was that kind of. But after reading this book completely, I changed that a bit, and what I did is that I attach with my current habit, which is the law number 2, that attach your new habit to a current habit. So what did I do is that after every night I'm brushing my teeth, I have to read at least 2 pages now. Okay, it's 2 pages, not a big deal. And when I start reading, I am interested in it, the momentum builds up, and I end up reading 20 to 30 pages each and every night. This principles actually work, and read this book, because summary isn't going to help you. I haven't covered each and everything because there is a lot more there in book. So I suggest you to buy a book and read that. Check out the free Notionverse template. Link is also provided in description, and try start using it. I'm sure that it will help you, because I am using it on daily basis, and it's really helpful. So thank you for watching till here. If you made it till end, then please do subscribe and leave a like so that YouTube can recommend this video to more people, and I hope that we are going to meet in the next video. So see you there.